Aloha and good afternoon. Thank you for joining me here on This Is Now. I'm Dylan Ancheta in the H&N Digital Center. First today, Governor Josh Green signed 16 bills relating to Hawaii's environment and natural resources today. These bills will work to combat the devastating effects of climate change through protecting natural resources and fostering sustainable tourism.
This is a process, and as you know, there's no one single responsibility that we have for our environment. It's a long-standing position that we have, which is to be thoughtful about the future. And that was hopefully demonstrated clearly when we went through the process of working together with the young next generation, the Navahine folks, and that settlement. A lot of this work is built on that and built on the input that's been made.
Lawmakers and agriculture representatives pointed to an increase in support for local agriculture from Governor Green's administration. However, they noted that some crucial bills had not been passed in the legislative session. In particular, there was an urge for more legislative support to combat invasive species. We'll have more on this story coming up on later editions of Hawaii News Now. And an update now on that deadly car fire in Salt Lake. Honolulu police now believe it was accidental. Crews were called to the scene on Malai Street at 3:30 Saturday morning. According to the medical examiner, the woman found inside the vehicle had not suffered any traumatic injuries prior to the fire. People who live nearby told us a woman had been living in the van for years. Her identity has not yet been publicly released. Hawaii's music community is in mourning today after saying aloha to Aaron Mahi, one of Hawaii's foremost conductors and musicians. He died at the age of 70. Mahi's family confirmed his passing late Saturday night, just 2 days before his 71st birthday.
It was the grace that he had for people, his ability to make you feel loved and special, his laugh, very uniquely gifted artistically, very, very good leader, humble, great relational guy, and a real servant to the Hawaiian community.
Seeing how much importance that he treated, how much respect he treated all forms of music was really enlightening to me.
And while tributes continue to pour in, our Jim Mendoza has a look at his life and legacy.
Over the course of his distinguished career, different titles preceded the name of Aaron David Mahi. There was conductor, composer, musician, and kahu. Close friends say beneath the surface was a soul that was kind and generous.
The word no is not really in his vocabulary, because he always said, I will help.
Mahi was gifted musically. Born and raised in Kalihi, he received a scholarship from the Honolulu Symphony when he was just 14 years old.
I mean, how many times can you say fantastic, fabulous, gifted musician? Because he is.
After graduating from Kamehameha schools, he earned a degree from Connecticut's Hart School of Music. No genre was out of his reach. He was as comfortable playing Hawaiian music as he was performing as a jazz bassist for the Windward Symphony Orchestra. In 1976, he joined the Honolulu Symphony as its bassist and as a conductor.
It's one thing to be able to play classical bass or Hawaiian style, but it's another thing to be able to actually conduct.
Mahi was masterful at it. In 1981, he was handed the baton for the Royal Hawaiian Band, becoming only the second native Hawaiian to serve as its band master. He held that position for 24 years. He was a maestro who seemed to be larger than life.
Aaron Mahi walks in a room and fills it up. He's likable, he's brilliant, he invites people into his world, and it's a huge world. The guy is just a gift to all of us, really. Yeah. Very much so, and dedicated to Hawaiian music.
Under his leadership, the band was inducted into the Hawaiian Music Hall of Fame, and it went global, performing on a 7-nation European tour in Japan and in New York, where it recorded a live album at the famed Carnegie Hall. Along the way, Germany presented Mahi with its prestigious Order of Merit.
He just had that that knowledge, that gift, that, I guess, fortitude just to, stick with the music and to do it right, and to bring Hawaii, I think, to a prominence musically that Hawaii should have been known for.
Mahi was also a man of faith. He served as pastor of the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs and at Akikiki Community of Christ Church.
Aloha mai kako, Aaron Mahi here again for another Nahualolo Kamalama, the Hawaiian Words of the Month.
He also led the Hawaiian Cultural Specialist Team for the Partners in Development Foundation. He taught countless children and families the importance of Native Hawaiian values and traditions.
It's just like a ballast on a ship or a steering wheel. He just kept us in the right place when we were integrating Hawaiian culture and standards that the schools would expect as the kids went and entered kindergarten.
Last year, the Hawaii Academy of Recording Arts honored him with its Lifetime Achievement Award.
What we now call the Hawaiian Renaissance.
The man with a Hawaiian Renaissance soul came full circle.
The mana'o is very important to him, and it's just like anything else for us. It's the kauna. It's not only just the lyrics or the words face on. It's what's underneath.
Summing up Aaron Mahi's lifetime of accomplishments, his close friend Danny Akaka Jr. said it best. Aaron's love of God, family, community, and music will always be in the legacy that he leaves behind.
Aaron is truly a legend, dear brother, and truly an icon of Hawaii.
And in Kalihi, a food delivery driver was attacked by a group of men in a robbery. This happened just before 1 Sunday morning. We're told the 39-year-old victim was at Kalihi Valley Homes to drop off an order. Sources tell us the thieves beat the victim before stealing his moped. The driver was hospitalized in serious condition. At last check, there have been no arrests, and HPD has not yet released a description of the suspects. And another hit and run seriously injured a moped rider downtown. The crash happened around 2 a.m. yesterday near South Vineyard Boulevard and Queen Emma Street. A 27-year-old man was rushed to the emergency room in serious condition. We're told 32-year-old Javier Martinez was later arrested after sources say he walked up to the crash site and told police that he was the driver. He's been released on $500 bail. In news across the nation, Beryl has been downgraded to a tropical storm, but it made landfall southwest of Houston today as a Category 1 hurricane. This is the first to make landfall in the U.S. this season, and Harris County authorities say at least 2 people have already died as a result of the storm. Michael Yoshida is in Houston with the latest.
I looked up and my roof was gone. It just went.
Terrifying moments for Texans living along the coast as Hurricane Beryl slams the state, carving a path inland.
The wind tunnel just went crazy. Stuff started flying off the walls, zinging around the house.
Hurricane-strength wind gusts reaching as high as 94 miles per hour in Freeport and knocking out power to more than 2 million customers in the state, according to poweroutage.us.
The biggest issue is going to be Center Point in Texas, New Mexico, assessing how many homes and businesses are without power. And then our favorite people over the coming few days will be the linemen as they get out and bust their butts on getting power back to everyone.
Across the area, fallen trees, a flipped truck, and collapsed roofs. Houston firefighters rescued a man trapped in bed when a tree fell on the house. The storm surge and heavy rainfall flooding several interstates as crews rushed to perform high-water rescues for stranded drivers.
Are you okay, sir?
Please, Houstonians, anyone that can hear my voice, shelter in place. Shelter in place. We're in an emergency.
Houston Mayor John Whitmire calling on everyone to stay inside. He says the city is focused on emergency response and preparing for what comes next.
We will do an assessment. We will be opening up centers. The Red Cross is in contact with us.
President Biden spent the day making phone calls to Democratic lawmakers, trying to reassure them that he is the only person that can defeat former President Donald Trump in the fall. Nicole Skanga has more details from Washington, D.C.
President Biden has launched an aggressive push to rally support with Democrats.
I am not going anywhere.
Biden called into MSNBC's Morning Joe and admitted his debate performance marked a terrible night, but says he's still best positioned to beat former President Trump in November.
I wouldn't be running if I didn't absolutely believe that I am the best candidate to beat Donald Trump in 2024.
But the president is losing support of a small but growing list of House Democrats who say they don't believe he can beat Trump after that debate performance.
The polling is going in the opposite direction. I think we have to be honest with ourselves. The situation is not getting better. Frankly, it's getting worse.
In a letter sent to congressional Democrats Monday, the president argued that voters are the ones who get to pick their nominee, adding, "The voters have spoken." But Democrats in the battleground state of Pennsylvania who spoke with us seemed split on the issue.
Biden just needs to step down and let someone else take the reins.
At this point, no. It's a little too late for that. I think he'll do fine.
Even Biden's supporters called this a critical make-it-or-break-it week for him as he works to turn around his campaign ahead of next week's Republican National Convention. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Washington.
Rumbling on Hawaii Island continues. Aftershocks were felt all day yesterday following a magnitude 4.1 earthquake at Kilauea. That earthquake occurred at Kilauea's south flank Saturday night around 8:45. It was followed by 3 aftershocks within 10 minutes. Researchers say earthquake counts remained elevated as of yesterday morning, and any substantial increases in seismic activity could result in a new eruption. Kilauea last erupted on June 3rd. And some sad news to pass along from our Sunrise crew. Sunny, the Sunrise mascot, has passed away. Sunny was a fixture on the show, bringing smiles to everyone in the newsroom, not just on the Sunrise crew. The beloved companion of our Grace Lee, they were inseparable. Morning show guests would often say they were more excited to meet Sunny than anyone else. Sunny lived for 16 years and will truly be missed. Over on Kauai, a sombering sight. A group recently spotted an Akikiki in a remote valley on the Garden Isle. This may be the last time it happens. State officials say the species has been declared functionally extinct. It's a sad end for a bird that was once seen in the thousands in the area. Now officials believe there may only be a few left in the wild after diseased ravaged numbers. They'll now focus on caring for captive Akikiki in an effort to one day release the birds back on Kauai. Now to a pretty crazy idea from Navy SEALs and vets. Trident Adventures wants to give people the chance to experience some of what they do. As our Casey Lund reports, this is for the thrill seeker in your life.
Well, Trident Adventures was born around 2019, right before the coronavirus changed tourism in Hawaii forever. Well, a global pandemic and about 1,700 of these wild helicopter jumps into the ocean later, they have found they struck a chord and created something that people from all around the world, including myself, want to give a try. For most of us, something like this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. For the former Navy SEALs like Stephen Kaplan and the other veterans who founded Trident Adventures, jumping out of a flying helicopter is a more familiar sensation, but still one that never gets old.
Oh yeah, everybody loves it. I mean, we've probably done about 1,700 times now, and people from all over the world will travel here for the one reason, to jump out of that helicopter and go scuba diving with us.
Yes, the company does a lot more than the helicopter jump. From snorkeling to scuba, even custom island tours, they cherish the opportunity to give visitors and locals alike a look at this beautiful place through a different lens.
But what I did was I took the cool parts of being a Navy SEAL and I made a company around it and left them with all the sucky stuff, which is most of what we do.
But yes, the main attraction is something that they know is uniquely theirs.
We're probably the only scuba company in the world that has a helicopter. And one of the things that we do is we jump out of the helicopter to go scuba diving and snorkeling. And I know we're the only company in the United States of America that does this, at least legally.
That word is important. Pulling this all off legally and ensuring the activity was no small task.
First, we had to develop the curriculum and all the safety and everything else that have the FAA approve of it. Then we had to get it insured. That's an interesting way to go about trying to do stuff like this.
From working with ALS patients who have extremely limited mobility to helping wounded warriors find themselves again, Kaplan and his team want to give back.
In the community, we reach out to the veteran community and military active duty community, and we do a lot of free scuba dives and snorkels, and even events like this where we jump out of helicopters just to reach out, give someone the best day of their life when they're down in their luck.
Trident Adventures even offers training to veterans in scuba and helicopter operations. They can even use their GI Bill to get certified and find work.
We do a little bit of everything, but specifically for this, I'm a certified cast master. I went through the program that he created. And after I got all that stuff done, I love doing this. The way that Steve explained it is like it's taking all the cool things about being a Navy SEAL without all the things that suck. And that really did push me, and I actually had a very large fear of open water. Being eaten alive and stuff like that, sharks and all that. And Steve was basically like, come get on my boat and I'm gonna push you out of a helicopter. So I did. And ever since then, you haven't been able to keep me out of the water.
The experience is one guests are simply blown away by.
How was it, guys? That was awesome. We're in there.
And finally, it was my turn. No turning back now. Of course, that full package with a helicopter jump, the scuba, it's an investment in something maybe for Father's Day or a really nice gift for that thrill seeker in your life. But they do so much work with veterans, offering deals, comped tours as well for people that have served for our country. They say to reach out. They have packages for everyday people as well that most folks can afford. You can find more information and book your experience online. We have a link at hawaiinewsnow.com. We'll send things back into the studio for now.
Oh, Casey Lund, always up to something adventurous. Thank you so much for that report, Casey. Let's send you live outside now for a look at Coconut Island in Hilo Bay. There were some passing showers earlier this morning, but as you can see, the sun is out and shining. It's a beautiful day there in Hilo, and it continues to be across the state. Stay with us. We'll have more news and weather after this break.
Aloha on this Monday, heading into the second month of hurricane season. It's still very quiet here in the Central Pacific. Now, the trade wind weather pattern will continue for the rest of the week. Slightly stronger winds are expected starting tomorrow. Now, this morning, there's not a lot of rain, although you can see there are a few passing showers coming in with the trade wind flow, along with a few lower level clouds. But overall, we're not expecting significant rainfall for the rest of the week. The winds, however, they'll run brisk and breezy today and for the rest of the week. In fact, these winds will be getting stronger from tomorrow through Friday. We could see a slight increase in showers when those winds pick up, but not so much today. Today's going to be a gorgeous day with lots of sunshine, and as such, high temperatures climbing into the upper 80s for some leeward areas, especially warm for the leeward areas of Oahu and Maui County. Now, the surface is going to be dropping pretty much island-wide, although heads up, we're expecting a significant south swell, maybe advisory level waves coming into the south shore this weekend, especially later, maybe on Sunday, so watch out for that. And as far as the weather over the next several days, it's not going to change in any significant way, although starting tomorrow, the winds pick up to breezy levels for the rest of the week. And when those winds pick up, also look for a slight uptick in those windward and mucus showers, but still, with all the sunshine, high temperatures climbing into the upper 80s.
In some news from the feeds, John Cena has announced he's retiring from wrestling in 2025. The 47-year-old wrestler turned actor broke the news during World Wrestling Entertainment's Monday in the Bank event. His announcement was met with boos from some in the audience. Cena said he plans to do between 30 and 40 dates through next year to wrap up his quarter-century-long wrestling career. The 16-time WWE World Champion is tied with legendary wrestler Ric Flair for the record number of championships. In his retirement announcement, Cena thanked viewers for, quote, letting me play in the house that you built for so many years. A huge dinosaur skeleton has made a transatlantic journey from the United States to a museum in Denmark. CBS's Leah Mishkin reports from London on the dinosaur's discovery and the new display.
On a Wyoming cattle ranch, a team of archaeologists began the work of excavating a dinosaur that roamed during the late Jurassic period.
It's an amazing specimen, first of all, because it's articulated. It was lying in the same position as it died in 150 million years ago.
And how was it discovered?
It was discovered in Wyoming by a rancher and some professional dinosaur hunters.
That was in 2017. It took a team about 5 years, more than 15,000 hours, to get the Camarasaurus grandis out of the ground and to Denmark's Museum of Evolution.
It's 97% intact. So we have almost every single bone of the dinosaurs.
How rare is it to have a dinosaur that's 97% intact?
It's extremely rare. It's a world-class specimen.
The 42-foot skeleton traveled by plane from the U.S. to Europe.
And we had a little bit of a problem with it because it actually sort of disappeared between Zurich and Copenhagen, but eventually it showed up about a week late.
Once it arrived, a museum team spent about 24 hours putting the long neck together.
And none of the pieces were missing, luckily.
Do we know how it died?
No, we don't. But we know that it died most likely in a stream or in shallow water, and then it was covered with some sort of sediment, mud, sand that prevented predators from eating it. It's just a wonderful creature.
A wonderful creature giving visitors a glimpse of the past. Leah Mishkin, CBS News.
And in today's Good News Now, we're talking about time capsules. Here's Jeremy Roth.
A Maryland town celebrated its 150th anniversary, not to mention our country's independence, by unearthing a buried treasure of sorts on the 4th of July. The treasure was a town time capsule buried beneath Bel Air, Maryland since 1974 and found loaded with a mishmash of miscellaneous items from a bygone era, including pictures, cassette tapes, and news clippings, which for some offered a personal look at loved ones' past lives.
So this talks about my mom and what she was doing for the centennial.
The town plans to keep the time warp tradition going, filling and burying a new capsule, which won't be reopened until 2074. A Nebraska town sporting the world's largest time capsule had to have a dress rehearsal for next year's 50-year reopening because they say they haven't yet figured out how exactly to get to the goods. The capsule was buried in 1975, but in 1983, the town added this huge pyramid on top to preserve the precious plot. Now, after cracking the triangular topper open to reveal an aged Toyota Corolla and a litany of old letters and such, town officials are still trying to figure out how to get into the main vault, which is said to contain another car, a motorcycle, and many more time-traveling treasures. Well, hopefully everyone had a festive 4th of July filled with friends, fireworks, and flying hot dogs. No, I did not make that up. It is a thing. But But just as important as the fun is what follows. I'm talking about cleanup efforts, like those of these volunteers in California, taking time to collect holiday trash from in and around Lake Tahoe. Celebrating from sea to shining sea only works, my friends, if we take the time to keep them shining. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Thank you so much, Jeremy, for that fun Take a Look at This. We got one more Good News Now story for you here. Billionaire Michael Bloomberg is making medical school free for many students at Johns Hopkins University. Bloomberg's namesake philanthropic organization is donating $1 billion to the school. In a letter, Bloomberg said he hopes the financial boost will address declines in U.S. health and education. Officials at the school say this gift will cover attendance, tuition, and living expenses for many on campus. Students who come from families that earn less than $300,000 are eligible. Incredible donation there. Let's end today again with one more live look outside over Honolulu. Don't forget, Investigates TV is coming up right after This Is Now. Thanks for watching, everyone.